The wind howled like a banshee, its eerie wail echoing through the night, sending shivers down my spine. Rain lashed against the windows with relentless fury, each drop a tiny hammer pounding on the glass. It was a tempest, the kind that makes you feel small, insignificant, as if nature itself was reminding you of your place in the world. I watched from my window, a sense of foreboding settling in my gut, a knot of anxiety tightening with each gust of wind. We were in the path of a massive hurricane, a monster of a storm promising chaos and destruction, its swirling mass a harbinger of disaster. I thought I was ready. I had prepared for this moment, or so I believed. Food? Check. Water? Check. I had enough supplies to last for days, maybe even weeks. First aid kit? Double check. Every bandage, every antiseptic wipe, meticulously organized. I had meticulously researched, planned, and prepped for this very scenario. Or so I thought. I had read every guide, watched every tutorial. The storm hit with a vengeance, tearing through our town like an angry beast, ripping apart everything in its path. Trees bowed low, surrendering to the wind's fury, their branches snapping like twigs. Power lines snapped, spitting sparks into the night. Then, silence. The world plunged into darkness. The eye of the storm. An eerie calm descended, a deceptive peace in the midst of chaos. It was then, in the stillness, that I realized my mistake. I had prepared for the storm, but not for the aftermath. The real challenge was just beginning. Welcome to Preppers Community, where we help you prepare for any disaster. The silence was deafening. It was as if the world had taken a collective breath and held it, waiting for something, anything, to break the stillness. The storm had vanished as quickly as it arrived, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The once vibrant neighborhood was now a ghostly shadow of its former self, with fallen trees and destroyed buildings marking the landscape. I stepped outside, my boots crunching on debris. Each step felt heavy, not just from the weight of the rubble, but from the weight of the reality that surrounded me. Our once familiar street was now a disaster zone. Houses that once stood proudly were now reduced to piles of wood and stone. Memories of laughter and life seemed distant, almost unreachable. The air was thick with the smell of damp earth and pine needles. Dust particles floated in the air, catching the faint light and creating an almost ethereal glow amidst the devastation. The sun, a pale disk through the overcast sky, cast long, eerie shadows. It was as if the world itself was mourning, shrouded in a somber veil. The world felt surreal, like a scene from a post-apocalyptic film. The silence, the destruction, the eerie calm, it all felt like a dream, one I desperately wanted to wake up from. My heart pounded as I realized the extent of the damage. Every corner I turned revealed more devastation, more reminders of the storm's fury. Power lines lay tangled on the ground like fallen snakes. They were once the lifelines of our community, now they were just another obstacle in our path. Trees, uprooted giants, blocked roads, their massive roots, once anchors to the earth, now exposed and vulnerable. And then, the gravity of my mistake hit me. I had underestimated the storm, its power, its reach. I had thought we were prepared, but clearly, we were not. I had no way to communicate. The realization was like a punch to the gut. In this age of constant connectivity, I was completely cut off. My phone, useless without cell service, felt like a brick in my hand. My radio, silent. I hadn't considered batteries, I hadn't considered so many things. The weight of my oversight was crushing. Communication. It's a simple word, but its significance cannot be overstated. It's the lifeline in a disaster, the thread that keeps us connected when everything else falls apart. It's the bridge connecting us to help, information, and each other. In those critical moments, it can mean the difference between life and death. Yet, in the heat of prepping for the storm, I had overlooked this crucial element. I had all the supplies, but without communication, they were just things. The thought sent a shiver down my spine. The realization hit me hard. What if someone was hurt? How would we call for help? The scenarios played out in my mind, each more terrifying than the last. What if we needed to evacuate? How would we coordinate? The questions were endless and the answers were clear. Without communication, I was adrift, alone in a sea of uncertainty. The isolation was palpable and the fear was real. That's when I swore to myself, never again. Never again would I be caught unprepared. Never again would I underestimate the importance of communication in an emergency. I made it a priority, ensuring every device was in working order. It was a lesson learned the hard way, a mistake I vowed never to repeat. The experience was a wake-up call. That experience taught me a valuable lesson. Preparedness is about more than just the tangible items. It's about being ready for the unexpected. It's about anticipating every possible need, every eventuality. It's about thinking ahead and being proactive. And communication, my friends, is non-negotiable. It's the cornerstone of any emergency plan, the key to survival. Panic gnawed at the edges of my composure. Every drawer, every cupboard I searched yielded nothing but disappointment. No batteries, not even a single AA. Hours ticked by, each one amplifying my anxiety. I felt a surge of relief when I finally discovered a dusty pack of batteries tucked away in a forgotten corner of our basement. They were old, their power questionable, but they were a lifeline. I quickly powered up my weather radio, its static-laced voice filling the silence with news of the storm's path and emergency instructions. That radio, crackling with life, became my lifeline to the outside world. It was a stark reminder that even the most comprehensive plans can unravel without the smallest, most essential components. Section 5. Beyond batteries, items we forget. Batteries, as I learned the hard way, are just the tip of the iceberg. There are countless other often overlooked items that are crucial for weathering a crisis effectively. These aren't flashy high-tech gadgets. They are the unsung heroes of disaster preparedness, the things we often don't think about until we desperately need them. So, let's delve into these forgotten essentials, these often overlooked items that can make the difference between discomfort and dire straits when disaster strikes. Remember, preparedness is about anticipating needs before they arise, about having a plan and the resources to navigate the unexpected. Section 6. Water, the essence of life. Water. It sustains us, nourishes us, and is absolutely essential for survival. Yet in the chaos of an emergency, clean drinking water is often scarce. Don't rely on just a few bottles. Aim for a gallon per person per day for at least 3 days. That's the bare minimum. Consider a water filtration system too. These range from portable straws to larger units that can purify water from questionable sources. Believe me, when thirst sets in, you'll be grateful for every drop of clean water. Section 7. The often overlooked first aid kit. Band-aids and antiseptic cream? Sure. But a comprehensive first aid kit goes far beyond the basics. Think about potential injuries, burns, cuts, fractures. Your kit should include gauze, bandages of varying sizes, antibiotic ointment, pain relievers, and an emergency blanket. Don't forget prescription medications. Having a surplus on hand can be vital if access to refills is disrupted. A well-stocked first aid kit is your first line of defense in an emergency. Treat it with the importance it deserves. Section 8. Hygiene and Havoc, don't underestimate it. Sanitation often takes a back seat in a crisis, but maintaining hygiene is crucial for preventing the spread of disease, especially in crowded shelters. Pack hand sanitizer, soap, toilet paper, and moist towelettes. These are essential for maintaining personal hygiene when water is scarce. Include garbage bags and plastic sheeting for makeshift toilets and waste disposal. Trust me, maintaining a semblance of sanitation can do wonders for morale and well-being in a disaster zone. Section 9. Light and warmth, essentials for survival. Darkness and cold can be formidable foes in an emergency. A power outage can plunge your world into darkness, making even simple tasks difficult. Flashlights, lanterns, and headlamps are essential for navigating your surroundings at night. Don't forget extra batteries. Consider a solar-powered or hand-crank weather radio. It's a reliable source of information and a beacon of hope in an emergency. Warmth is equally crucial, especially in colder climates. Pack blankets, sleeping bags, and extra layers of clothing. Hypothermia is a real threat, even in moderate temperatures. Section 10. Tools and materials, your lifeline in emergencies. A multi-tool is like having a toolbox in your pocket. It can be invaluable for repairs, opening cans, or even starting a fire. Duct tape, the ultimate fix-it solution, can patch up leaks, secure shelters, and has 1,000 other uses. A whistle is essential for signaling for help if you're lost or trapped. Its shrill sound can carry over long distances, increasing your chances of being found. These tools and materials may seem insignificant, but they can become your lifeline in a disaster. Section 11. Preparedness. Not a project, a lifestyle. The storm taught me that preparedness is not a one-time project, but a way of life. It's about being constantly aware, adapting, and ensuring our readiness for any eventuality. Review your emergency plans and supplies regularly. Make sure they're up to date and tailored to your specific needs and location. Don't wait for disaster to strike before you act. Start preparing today. Your safety and the well-being of your loved ones depend on it. Remember, being prepared gives you peace of mind, knowing that you can face any challenge head-on. And trust me, that feeling of readiness is priceless.